Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. This week I want to talk about how to know if your ex still loves you. Just because they broke up with you, it doesn't mean that the love went away. It just means that the bad in the relationship outweighed the good, and they didn't want to stay with you anymore, at least not in the way you were together before. Maybe they want to change the terms of the relationship, but it doesn't mean they don't love you. So I want to give you some signs, and obviously the more signs that you see, then the higher the chances are that they still love you. And if you don't see any of these signs, then sorry, they probably don't love you. But before I do that, I want to welcome back my beautiful No Contact Army. Have you been a good little soldier and stayed in no contact? Well, if you need help staying in no contact, you can download my app Silencio. The link is underneath every single video and podcast for both Android and iPhone. And if you too would like to join our No Contact Army, just hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before purchasing the book. Okay, so these are in no particular order. So let's start with this one. They want to know what's going on with you. So it's a way to feel connected with you, even if you're no longer together. And this can even go so far as, let's say that they just want to know what city you're in and what the temperature of that city is. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have absolutely no contact with someone, if you're totally avoiding them, then they'll use any little thing to feel connected to someone they're no longer connected to. So they are going to find a way to somehow stay connected beyond, obviously, social media, which I will talk about in a minute. But if they find some other strange ways to stay connected, it's a good sign they still love you. Another sign is that they want to be physically close to you. And they could do this by saying they need to pick up things that they left at your place, even if they don't even need them. But then they don't take everything. That way they can come back. Or if you see them at work or at school, they may be trying to run into you or be physically close to you. Another sign is that they have extreme emotions for you. So if they can go from one extreme to the other, that's a strong sign they're still in love with you. So one minute they hate you, and then the next they love you. And you're like, are they crazy? Well, they might be crazy in love. Hey. And an extension of that is if they're being hurtful to you. Remember, the opposite of love is not hate. It's what? That's right, indifference. So when you're no longer in love with someone, you are actually bored or unbothered by the thought of them. You're not going to bother to say hurtful things to them. So if they are saying mean things to you, it's because they still love you and miss you. As crazy as that sounds, I know. And by the way, if you like what you're hearing so far, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. The next sign is that they are hot and cold. So they reach out, but when you respond, they disappear. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't be this push-pull situation. And if you're confused, it's very likely that they are too, which is a good sign. Another sign is that they keep reaching out, even though you're not responding. A client of mine who had been broken up with several times by the same woman, he finally did what I said, stayed in no contact, ignored the breadcrumbs, and she's been reaching out regularly. She finally said something semi-significant after months and months, but she still kept reaching out. She didn't disappear as he thought she was going to disappear. I'm like, yeah, I don't think she's going anywhere. So that's a sign that there's still love there. Another sign is that they're very angry with you. Yes, this means that they love you. And I've actually done a video on this, on why you should be happy if your ex is angry. And I'll put the link in the right-hand corner on YouTube. People are always afraid. It's like, my ex is mad at me. I'm scared. You shouldn't be scared. You should be happy. Why would they get mad if they didn't care? If they still get mad, if they're still mad, if they're upset with you, yeah, there's love there. I know, it's crazy. Another one is that they call from numbers you don't know, or you pick up the phone and they hang up. So a lot of people are saying, oh, I keep getting numbers or calls from numbers that I don't recognize. Do you think it's my ex? Yeah, Either that or it's spam likely. One of those two. It's either your ex or spam likely. Okay. Another sign is that they are still single after a long time. So if a lot of time has passed since the breakup and your ex is still single, it may be because they haven't moved on from you because they can't, because they still love you. Aw. Another one is that they can't take their eyes off you. So if you happen to run into each other, or you have to deal with each other at work or at school, their eyes seem to be glued to you. And they probably don't even realize that they're doing this, but it's because they're so happy to see you that they just want to soak you in, baby. The next sign is that they help you out. So if they reach out to offer assistance or are always available if you need help, that's a good sign that they are still in love, since they are still there for you. Otherwise, they wouldn't respond, or they would just tell you to find someone else to help you fix that flat tire. And this also includes being eager to console you if they find out this may happen, if you're sad or upset about something. The next sign that your ex is still in love with you is that they stay in touch with your friends and or family. Now, if you guys were together for many, many years, it can simply be because they have a deep connection with them and they don't want to lose that relationship. That's certainly understandable. So the best way to know is to see if they're asking about you and asking for updates about you. Because if they never ask about you, it could just be that they want to maintain that friendship. But if they're also asking about you and asking for updates, yeah, good chance they're still in love. And here's the one about social media. So they still follow you online. Doesn't mean, in and of itself, if that's all they do is just follow you online, it doesn't mean they're in love with you. However, if you see a bunch of other signs with this one, then that's a good sign. So if they're still following you, watching your stories, maybe even commenting or reacting, then obviously there's some interest there. Otherwise, they would just ignore you or even worse, block you, right? And then finally, they're not in a hurry to give you your stuff back or to pick up theirs. I get this question a lot. They're like, my ex broke up with me, but they won't pick up their stuff. They won't give me back my stuff. Well, then obviously that doesn't make sense, because if they want nothing to do with you, if they broke up with you, then why would they not want to do that, right? They want to make sure they got their stuff out of your place and you got your stuff out of their place. But if they're not doing that, what's with the delay, right? Exactly. It's because there's still something there. There are still feelings there. So that's a good sign. All right. So now I want to hear from you. Have you seen any of these signs? Which ones have you seen? Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. The direct link is below every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.